On a Monday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily, I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, you're up.
Is this thing on?
It's on.
We need to get back. At least we're indoors in the air conditioning. I'm good.
How about those midges? Is that what those were? Did we officially call those midges, or was it something else? Some sort of a biting gnat apparatus that has plagued the Northeast Ohio region over the last few days?
It does feel that way. But what we need to do is, Gibbe, we need to get Drew Davidson, the great Drew, involved in our radio tent
Double D?
next year, the way that he is involved in the Browns live tent, because that has air conditioning.
Double D has air conditioning.
Oh, yeah. Huge, like a pipe this big, two of them that are blowing nothing but beautifully freezing cold air in there.
And that explains the energy.
It's
right when that comes up.
Oh,
ready to go. Boom.
That's why you
synergy.
You can feel it through the screen. It's like somebody just threw like cold water on you.
It
Like,
really
oh,
is.
baby.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yes.
But the AC is key to the whole operation.
I believe that it is. In fact, yesterday I brought my the official Nana of CBD out to training camp. Now, Gibbe, Nana claims that was the first time she's ever met you. Me and the kids said not true.
Not true.
Yeah, right. She also
the
claims
kids were on it right away.
The official Nana also claims she's never met you. I don't know that that's true either. Possible, but I don't believe so. She's been in the studio when you it would have been pre-COVID.
I don't know if I have. I'm not sure I've met the official Nana.
It would have been pre-COVID.
Which is an incredible, just terrible on the resume.
Yeah. She came in here and gave Gibbe the biggest hug. She's like, I'm a huge fan of yours. It was great. It was like it was a real fan moment. It was awesome.
Well, that's a win then, Gibbe.
It was 1-0. It only went downhill after that because it got excruciatingly hot.
Well, not for us because we took in training camp practice from
the Browns live set, which is
air conditioning.
The air conditioning.
And ice cold water.
Well, don't forget, too, there's like a lot of expensive gear that has to be cooled.
Let me ask you a question, Gibbe. How much does a human thorax cost of a professional broadcaster? What is that worth?
Priceless.
That's right. So don't come to me with cameras. I mean, this is an instrument.
I'm just telling you.
It's a moneymaker.
I'm telling you. I mean,
an instrument.
Joe Thomas proved that a year ago.
You know?
That's right. He did. He had to have surgery to repair that instrument.
Right. True
By
instrument.
The way, Connor, where are we at on the fan quest? Speaking of cooling for us.
Who's Connor? Stevie?
Esteban. Yeah.
You're calling him by his real name?
Well, I just want to make sure. You're right. Shame on me.
What happens? I'm gone 2 days.
Has he watched any Eastbound and Down yet?
Stevie, have you seen any Eastbound and Down?
Training camp, man.
No time.
It's a half hour.
No time.
It's a half hour.
It's a half hour pure joy.
It's an off day in the building. You would never know that based on this room.
No, not us.
No, we're here.
Yeah,
we're here. But do we have a fan then? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. One got installed.
Okay. All right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So we should have that tomorrow.
Which is nice.
It's been there.
We should have that tomorrow then.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Okay. That's a win.
Well, that's a win for everybody.
See? How are you doing? Our weekend, I mean, we were here. Me and Gibbe and Esteban.
There were practices this weekend?
Both days, brother. Hot.
Boy, it was great. Nice, balmy.
It was great. I love training camp.
I do too. It's the best.
I'm done with it. Not going to lie. Let's go on and play some real
games. We've got
games.
like a while left. I was looking at this thing.
I feel like
we got a while left.
Hold on. I feel like this is the scene in Caddyshack where he's like, I own lumber yards. I noticed you don't spend a lot of time there. I love training. I know you don't spend a lot of time there, Bo. You love it, though. It's good.
I love it. Yeah. It's the best.
Boy.
I did have yesterday evening at a wonderful day at the pool. Played some pickleball, a little bit of hoops with the boys. At
the home pool?
On the home front.
Nice.
We did that. And then their grandpa wanted to take them fishing. So that's the one thing I don't do. I don't do the fishing. Like sorry, Joe. Mr. Thomas Hoff. That ain't my bag, baby.
That's not my bag, baby.
So you go right ahead, honey. You go down there and it's really good because I do a lot of the coaching and stuff. So it's a good thing that the wife can do with them. And so I said, you know what? I think I'm going to go see if I can play a little bit. So I did, and I went out, and I actually this is the first time it's ever happened in my life. It's on a par 3 and a par 4, but I actually for the first time in my life went birdie. I've never done that in my life. The amount of birdies that I've ever gotten in my life are less than 10.
All
total,
right.
But it was a par 3 and then a par 4. Number 7 and number 8, and so it was really pretty good. It was good. Short little par 3, really stuck it like to 5 feet. which is pretty good.
So
it's like 137-yard par 3 over water.
7 and 8. So when we played the front first, right? When we played there?
Yeah.
Okay, so par 5, cool par 4.
Yep.
Par 3.
Par 3, par 4.
Par 4.
God, what a memory out of you.
Yeah,
Par 4 up.
Yep.
Par 4 back.
Yep.
Par 3. That's the one.
So you birdied the par 4 that goes like kind of up the hill, or the par 3 is after that hole that goes straight up the hill?
Par 3 is before the hole that goes back up.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I birdied the hole that went back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was good. And then I thought, boy, I'm hitting it so good. I should hit a driver on 9, and I hit that 150 yards right. I was pure in the 3-wood, hitting it great.
Listen,
so, you know, I don't know why that is. I got to get to the official teaching pro, Mr. Michael Dixon. He can help me.
He send videos. He helped my chipping with just some videos.
He can figure me out on why I can't hit a driver straight, but I can hit a 3-wood straight. Also, speaking of that, my favorite coaching hat. So I got Bootsy's football practice tomorrow, and then I got he doesn't want to be called Black Cobra anymore. I got to come up with a new nickname. Pade doesn't want to be called Black Cobra anymore. I don't know why.
What do you mean?
I don't know. That's what he said over the weekend. He's like, can you come up with a new nickname with me? I said, it doesn't really work that way. Like, you named yourself that.
This is like when Pedro said,
Yeah, it is.
Don't call me Pedro.
Maybe I'll call him not Black Cobra.
Yeah, call him not Black Cobra.
I like
Yeah. I think he's going to really
NBC.
like that. Yeah,
NBC, not Black Cobra.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'll do. So he's got practice tonight, too. So my favorite coaching hat has been the one that the great Michael Dixon gave us, the all-white Congo hat. I love it.
It's great.
So I was wearing it last
light
Friday.
on a hot day,
and
too.
it's just, it's perfect. And I've washed it several times, and it still is in really great shape considering all the use. But on Friday to this camp, I wore an orange hat. I don't even remember what it said on it, but I remember it was orange.
Okay.
And in the car, because it was sweltering, as you will recall, so the hat was sweat-soaked, and I placed it on the Congo hat, which is always in my car, and the orange bled through onto the Congo hat. I panic. Certainly some sort of OxyClean spray, something. No. It's done. It's done. Sad day. Sad day. Had a great run.
Great run. Mine went on my honeymoon to Croatia.
Yeah, mine's been everywhere.
Yeah.
It's my favorite hat.
It's a great hat.
I've worn it consistently for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every football game I've coached in that hat.
So here's the question. Here's the question. Because it is a white, can't you bleach it?
I wonder, but what about the
logo, the embroidery? The worst case scenario is that the embroidery then becomes white, and it becomes a white on white, which would still kind of look okay.
Does bleach work that way? Will it take it out of something like that without?
I don't think the embroidery. I think the embroidery actually is. It is just like blue.
So maybe I'll try that. I'll try some bleach tonight with it. Let's see if I can give it a go.
Give it a go. I mean,
gotta give it a go. It's worth salvaging. What do I have to lose? It's unwearable now. It's got rust.
These are the paddles of life that you're trying to give to the hat.
This was fun. I've enjoyed all this.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, we're 1 month away from the kickoff of the NFL season.
Great.
What was the show? What did we did a show in here last week when we were having all sorts of fun, and then I shifted gears to the Watson stuff, and you go, "You're going to do it anyway, aren't you?
Yeah,
you're going to do it, aren't you?"
Okay.
We have to. I guess we have to. Oh boy. So there was some good news over the weekend. David Bell back. Anthony Walker Jr. back. Those are wins. Anthony Schwartz. So the debuts for some of these guys in the 2022 season.
Which is good, and it's important. Obviously, David Bell is going to be a big part of what we're going to do, and Anthony Schwartz needs to be a big part of what we're going to do, and he certainly had a little bit of rust on him, to be honest with you, on the first day back. So we'll talk about that as we kind of go through later on in the show, things that happened over the weekend. But this receiver room right now, because we haven't gotten to see it in its glory, it remains to me the biggest question mark on this football team. I know a lot of people want to talk about the defensive tackles being a question mark, but Jordan Elliott's look good, Taven Bryan's look good. They're going to be fine. And in the context of what we're going to do as a defense, they are going to be more than adequate. The receiver room is the one, and especially because we know that this is not, if you said you have a full season Deshaun Watson to elevate everything up, that's one thing. That's not. We know that is not what we're going to have. We are not going to have a full season of Deshaun Watson. At a minimum, it feels like best case scenario would be we have him for 11 games. And I don't know if we're going to have that.
Yeah, that seems fleeting.
It does seem.
Yeah,
it does seem fleeting.
I mean, this is why we talked about it all season. Now we didn't, all off season. It was the room you looked at and you thought, but you always, you had it in the context of. I can't remember who we had on from Houston, but they were like, look, Deshaun is going to elevate all of this.
McClain.
It was John. That's exactly right. It doesn't matter. He's going to elevate all of it. Well, now you're not going to have him for an extended period of time. So now that's a different issue. It is compounded by the fact that you just have not been healthy. Anthony Schwartz hasn't been on the field much. Not this year, not last year. So that's a problem. David Bell is someone we loved, but we just haven't seen him much. He was great in rookie minicamp, great in training camp, but we need in the minicamp.
Sure.
But he's got to get out there and start building that trust with Jacoby Brissett to start the season. That's where you're at. And then, so it's a lot on Donovan Peoples-Jones. Amari Cooper's he's the truth, but it does feel like you're a little bit short in that room.
Yeah, you just need other people that can come in and win consistently. And when we get into, the weekend and who stood out, there are some young guys who are going to have a chance to showcase their skills against Jacksonville. But in my mind, these are people that are competing to stay in the program, not so much to make the roster. And then the one other problem you have is that one of the guys who was the absolute bright spots in that room, Mike Woods, that, you talked, I was all ready to, on Friday be, oh, Mike Woods makes a catch. And, Greg Newsome said of the guys, the young guys, the non, Amari and DPJ, Mike Woods has been the toughest guy to cover. All the DBs think so. Well, now he's out for some time with a hamstring injury that was the same one that had kept him out of basically all the OTAs. And so it gets hurt again. That's a problem. Now you don't know, if a hamstring's probably a minimum, if it's a bad one, is a minimum of what, 2 weeks? Yeah. Probably 3, 4. So now you're talking about, is he
ready for the opener?
Right. Does he even get a chance to show what he's got prior to the opener? Does he get a chance to even participate in a preseason game?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. And the tough part about that is it's a numbers game. Did you see enough in the first week of training camp with 1 day in pads to say this guy's on our roster?
He was certainly trending that way and more. It was trending like he was going to have a role. But to your point, by the time we get to cutdown day, that's going to be a long time ago, my friend.
Yeah, and so I think that's a significant thing. And again, this receiver room, it just is starting to feel like, and again, Schwartz had a very nice spring. I consider him to be the key to kind of unlocking this passing attack because of his speed and what he can do in terms of space creation. He's going to have to be better than he was. It was, again, first day back into team drills yesterday, but he's got to be better than that.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if you can run past people if you can't catch the ball.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that he's worked on. And I know he's working very hard, and you can just see him fighting it out there. And so it's mental on some level, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you hope that he can overcome that because I think the Browns need him to do that. He's a guy that can make game-changing plays with his speed, field-changing plays. We talked about at Auburn, he had the 9 touchdowns and more than 50 yards. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We need that here. We need it.
Yes, absolutely, we do. Though it's just where you're at. And then, of course, the other news over the weekend, according to multiple reports, Kareem Hunt asked for a trade after looking for a contract extension and sitting out the 11-on-11 periods for 2 straight days. Reports are the trade request was denied by the Browns. This is just from 30,000 feet. I wasn't here this weekend when this was all going on. Whoever, and this is me speaking, certainly, as just some dude who hosts this show with you, my friend, certainly not an organizational take. But if you were wanting these type of things, this ain't the time, brother.
No.
This ain't the time. Like, there's a lot going on here. There is a lot going on. And the notion that like now on August 6th, 7th, and 8th, now do it, no, that's not it. That's not a conversation for now. So I love Kareem. I love how he plays. We're better with him, clearly. There is an intensity. We talked about it a lot last season. There's a violence he runs with that is just you can't coach it. You have it or not. It leads to injuries at times, a reckless abandon that he plays with. We're better with all of that. And there will be a time to discuss future and what that could look like. This is a really good room, by the way. And so for all of those reasons, yeah, for sure, love him, but just terrible timing and terrible advice on how this came about or whatever.
And clearly it feels like after being at practice yesterday that it was handled and discussed to his satisfaction on some level, that perhaps there wasn't, anything to do. And so, boom, there he was right back in the mix and playing, in the team periods after not doing that for a couple of days. So to me, it feels like that was handled. The Browns are not interested in trading him. I mean, you listen to offers on anybody, but that didn't seem to be anything that they were interested in doing really on any kind of a level. So Kareem's here. He's got a great opportunity, a part of, I think, a very good backfield. And the thing about it is he's still being compensated as a starting running back.
Yes. Yeah.
Is he being compensated as good as he believes he is? No. And I understand that. I think that's fair. But he is being compensated as a starting running back, even though and he's being viewed that way here by the Browns. The thing about it is, the starting running back here is Nick Chubb, and I understand why he wants to have the opportunity to do that himself, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So it was just the timing of it, I thought, was not ideal to say the least. So we'll have a lot of fun on the program today. We'll get into Z's copious notes when we get back. We'll also hear from some of the major participants from practice over this weekend. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. It was Hall of Fame weekend down in Canton. Next week going to be a biggie. Next season going to be a biggie for the Hoff. That's Hoff. That's going to be Hoff week. Let's get organized on that. Let's do that right.
I believe that it will be handled very, very well.
Let's make sure
I think
that's
it'll
done
be handled
correctly.
Completely appropriately by the Hoff, obviously.
Well, I know I'm not talking about the Hoff. I'm talking about us.
Well,
I'm talking about us. Like, let's not have next year the Hoffness, and we're looking for fans. You know what I mean?
No, we're not looking for fans.
Yeah, let's be dialed in. It's the Hoff, and that's what we got to be ready for. It's going to be us against the Jets in that game on Thursday night.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's do this thing right. That's going to be unbelievable, by the way. I mean, that place will be jammed.
Oh, it's going to be rocking.
For that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, going to be very, very good. I can't wait for that one. That one's going to be a lot of fun.
Me neither.
We'll go over the copious notes coming up next. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Bath Authority can give you the bathroom of your dreams. They can do it for you in about a day, guys. Transform your current bath into a custom bath situation for a spa-like feel. Let the Bath Authority make it a reality for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. The Bath Authority is our area's premier bath and shower remodeler. They are experts and factory trained. Give them a call now. You get $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. That number is 216-220-8399, or go to thebathauthority.com. It's where affordability meets quality. They have the largest selection of bath projects. They're all made in the United States. Change your bathroom from outdated to outstanding in about a day. Superior products, expert installers at the Bath Authority. $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel at 216-220-8399, or go to thebathauthority.com for more. And now time to open up the notebook for copious notes of the weekend, my friend.
Yeah, so good weekend. Saturday in the pads, Sunday not in the pads, as they kind of capped off that 3-day stretch. Incredibly hot both days. I thought going back to Saturday's practice, there were a lot of good things. We have a full Browns Live, by the way, of that practice. The defense continues to play very, very well. I would say our secondary continues to be very good, even in the one-on-one situations, which is a tough thing. Greg Newsome got his hands on the football, got an interception in the one-on-ones, got an interception in the team off of a ball that bounced really off the chest of the Chief. But I loved that Watson went right back to him a couple plays later in a similar spot, and Chief made a catch and a big gain. It's kind of easier maybe to look at the 2 days as a whole and just go through, each room. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
And I have not seen as many as you practices. Does it seem like Newsome could go to like a Pro Bowl level? I mean, is that too much? It feels like he's ready to go.
Yes. Yes, and you know that we on this program are very good friends with the great Jeff Howard and Brandon Lynch, the defensive backs coaches, and Greg Newsome is, in Jeff's experience, the smartest defensive back he's ever been around. He'd put him up there with Harrison Smith, who was great for all those years in Minnesota as a free safety, an incredibly smart guy. He has the mental acumen to be great. He understands what he's seeing already. He's diagnosing plays already, kind of like we saw Eric Weddle do against us all those many years ago. But this is a guy who's entering his second season, and so his mental aptitude's incredible. His physical gifts are immense. Yeah, I think he's got to stay healthy. Sure, but I do think that there is a world that is not unrealistic where at the end of this year, Greg Newsome is in the discussion for All-Pro and is a Pro Bowler and is going to all of a sudden regarded as one of the top corners in the game, period, like full stop.
Again, it's like the first week I was on holiday. I was here all last week. You were here over the weekend. I haven't seen as much, but in what I've seen, it feels like he was really good last year, and it feels like it's kind of like a leap, which usually is when you're really good, a leap means something else.
Yes.
Starting to be head to elite. Didn't mean to interrupt, but just as you were mentioning Newsome, that was an observation I had last week at camp.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that it is more than in the realm of possibility. I think it is absolutely in the realm of possibility, and I think that he has a chance to be very special, just as in many ways, so does this defense has a chance to be very, very special. But let's start offensively.
Yep.
So Saturday's practice, Josh Rosen got some work with the third team, was kind of the third team quarterback for Saturday's day, and it looked like you wondered, okay, maybe has he moved ahead of Josh Dobbs, who has had his struggles. And Rosen was very good. They opened practice on Saturday with a 2-point conversion type of a play, and Rosen converted got his nice pass to Nakia Griffin-Stewart, the young tight end right in the middle of the field, for a successful conversion. He threw a couple nice touchdowns to Mike Harley Jr. That's a name you're going to hear me mention a bunch of times. And Zaire Mitchell-Payton at the end of practice, and everybody went nuts. So he had a very good Saturday. Sunday, Dobbs got the opportunity to be back with the threes and had, I thought, his best day of practice. And at the end of practice, what they did was they had the 1 offense against the 2 defense, the 2 offense versus the 1 defense, and then the 3 offense versus the 3 defense. And the scenario was you had the ball in I think your own 20, and you were down 3, and you had 1 minute and 10 seconds left to get into field goal range for a tie, score a touchdown to win, or bubkiss. Brissett actually got them into field goal range, and Cade York make the field goal. The defense did a good job of holding. They had one kind of big play to Harrison Bryant, and they were able to kind of get down in the mix, and then the defense kind of stiffened up, field goal, so that was a tie. The one offense got down the field again. It was Watson to Harrison Bryant on a rollout that got them into field goal range. Cade York made the field goal again, and they got it done. The 3v3s, Dobbs hit Zaire Mitchell-Payton for what could have been a touchdown, but was certainly very close, and then finished the drive with a touchdown to Mike Harley Jr. So the threes did it, and Dobbs actually, that was the best sequence he's had, I think, out here. Now, you mentioned, I talked about, in the quarterback room, Watson continues to be good. Brissett, I thought, has had some nice days, made some very good throws, and they did a red zone 7-on-7 on Saturday, and I thought he did a good job in there with a lot of touchdowns. Again, Mike Harley Jr. was on the receiving end of some of those. DPJ had a nice stretch with Deshaun Watson. But it's clear that Watson is on his own level, Brissett is on his own level, and then Dobbs and Rosen are competing. And it was fun to see that Saturday-Sunday competition that the two of them both looked good on those 2 days. And I think that was something that was, I think, probably exciting to the coaching staff. That was something you were hoping to see, and it was something you did get to see.
Well, the big thing there is we know that we're going to be without Deshaun Watson for at least the first 6 games. So that, those guys can play themselves into being a backup quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Over the course of the next few weeks.
Well, and what's fascinating to me is how do we approach this preseason as our quarterback coach, Drew Petzing, walks by? How are we approaching that position this season? I wonder if he's going in there with the same question I have. Why can I only get the sidelines on here? Why can't
he does have
he
it.
Had his iPad. Yeah,
he's
walking
he's not
over
pleased.
there. Yeah.
I think
it could be.
I think that's
I'm
it.
Curious,
you would rarely see. No, you never see that. You never see coaches walking with their iPad.
And that's
up.
where he's going, right?
He
to
said
the film
it right
guys.
to those guys to say what's
the
going
deal
on here, fellas?
Why is it sideline sequence only?
Yeah, he's not.
I'm going to go ask them as well after. But
I'm guessing it's sorted.
I bet it will be sorted. I probably won't even have to go there, but it'll end up being sorted now. How do they approach that? It feels like Watson's going to play. Does Brissett play in the preseason at all? Does Brissett play in preseason game 1 at all? Or does he only play in preseason game 3? He's given him the iPad. He says,
the iPad stayed.
Yeah, you figure this out. It's Drew.
This is untenable.
I'm not having it. Drew walks back, iPad there.
Watch those laces. Yeah. Get that thing tied
Careful.
up, buddy.
I think that's going to be a fascinating thing. You would expect to see a lot of Dobbs and Rosen.
Yeah.
But how much Watson do we see? How much Brissett do we see? And these are questions that I imagine will be answered at some point this week. And my guess would be Kevin Stefanski got media tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then not again, right, Gibbs? Is that right?
Gibby's playing on his phone.
Gibby's going through training. We got like 300 training requests for us all right now.
What are you talking about, training requests?
We got to go through the league, the gambling policy. We've got to go through something to prevent cyber attacks. We've got to migrate our phones. We have a lot of stuff going on right now, which is
I literally
kind of a busy time of year.
A to-do list today, and I'm like, I'm not sure when I'm going to have time to do all this.
Why are you guys doing this in the middle of camp? Couldn't this have been done in July?
I don't know.
One of them is the gambling thing.
It's like a league thing.
That's a league initiative. You have to get certified. You have to do it. It always happens during training camp. But there's at least 3 other things that I've got to fill out in the next 2 weeks. That's probably number 48, 49, and 50 on my current list of things that get done.
Stefanski,
I'm on actually a call with the league right now. That's why I stepped away.
Oh, very good.
Stefanski speaks tomorrow,
tell
and then
to wait. You got to be on CBD with us for a second.
Yeah,
go ahead.
He's not on this call.
Stefanski speaks tomorrow, and then not again, right?
Correct.
Till post game. So
correct.
If he's going to share with the world his plans, it will be tomorrow. No,
so he won't talk again until post game in Jacksonville on Friday?
Correct.
Yeah.
Tomorrow and then Friday?
Yeah. Wednesday's a travel day. Thursday.
Let's go over that, and then we'll get back to the copious notes. So you're outside tomorrow, fans, normal camp.
Yep.
Closed practice Wednesday, but it'll be here.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we travel.
Then you travel Wednesday night. So Thursday we'll practice down in Jacksonville.
It's going to be a non-football team building activity. Is that right, Gibbe? I'm
trying to think. What are you going to do in Jacksonville?
I don't
What's
know.
wrong?
On Thursday,
Go to a wing joint.
Their schedule for Thursday was some type of a team building activity.
A team building activity in Jacksonville?
Thought it was Wednesday when we get in.
You get in Wednesday night, but Thursday's the
team
Wednesday
building. At like 9 o'clock.
But there's no schedule. So Thursday for you guys is free.
Well, there's Browns Daily and the Coaches Show. Sad.
Well, that's at night, but
Sad.
Daily's at 1. We'll do that show at 1. So listen,
Sad.
the heart wants what the heart wants, brother.
I know.
And then, but you have Thursday morning.
There's a window.
There's a window.
There's a window.
You guys could easily.
He's not buying into this like I thought he might.
Easily do like
Bo.
an 8. Well, he's already played Sawgrass, and so most people when they go down there they want to play Sawgrass. It ends extraordinarily, but it's
first of all, I'm
pretty
guessing
regular.
there's going to be. My guess would be Gibbe, and you correct me if I'm wrong. My guess is production meetings will be on Thursday.
I mean, you got to have everybody there though, to have the production meeting.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't believe certain people are in till later in the day.
It's true. Some people are getting in on Thursday. Maybe they'll be on Friday. Listen, and I'm also taking this very seriously, Bo. This is the debut.
So
ready,
it's a preseason
notes.
For you too. Let's be fair.
Hey, we're getting everything up and running.
You will be the best.
All right,
to
I need to
ever
get back
do
to this. New playoff overtime rules.
Like you on color in the preseason, please. You know this roster front and back, brother.
Well, this is more storytelling than football reaction.
It is, but like you'll crush. I mean, you're gonna absolutely crush. Come on, give me a break. This is. Let's see. I think I'm trying to think where I want you to play.
But I'm not. We can't bring our clubs down.
Why?
Because we had to bring our suitcase and a backpack.
So you make your clubs the
Listen,
the backpack.
I'd be perfectly happy, by the way, if it's like nice out to go like hang out at the pool, do a little swimming, little fitness in the morning. I don't think we're getting to golf on Thursday. I just don't see that happening. I'd love it.
I think it's sad.
It is sad.
I think it's sad when you're down there for the full day. You know.
Listen, if you want to run CBD from back here, Gibbe and I could go run amok.
No. That's the gig.
You and Esteban.
That's the gig.
The Bo and Stevie show.
All you got to do is be there by 1. Be to the hotel by 1.
Right.
Tee off at 8:08. It's done. Easy. Too easy. Too easy. Give Shaw a call.
He's raising his eyebrows.
Give Shaw a call.
Yeah.
See where he plays. Where's Tony play? Set up your boys and let's go. Let's get this done. That's what I want for you. So, all right. So then we're back Friday. So you'll have the game on Friday night. Friday night after my God, to think about this. If you don't have some sort of resolution on the Watson thing by tomorrow, when Stefanski meets with the media, if it comes between then or Friday night, you will not hear from Stefanski until after Friday night.
Perhaps
there'll probably be a statement or whatever. But
right.
Yeah. And then whatever the plan is for Watson in the preseason game on Friday.
Yeah. I think that whole part of this is going to be fascinating. What do they actually do at the quarterback position? If we know Watson is out for 6 games or whatever it is going to be, he's going to play, but do you expose Brissett, or do you think as a veteran he's had enough exposure in his career, or do you want him to get some run in this offense prior to the fact that, you've got a game coming up? Or do you say with Jacoby, you're actually going to go in there with the ones against Philly when they're here in the joint practices, and you're going to get all of your reps that way?
At some point it transitions to, hey, Jacoby, what do we need to do to get you ready?
Yes. How do we get you ready?
That probably is going to happen soon.
Right.
Because the reality is what the reality is on the Watson side of things. So then the following week when we return, you'll have a camp practice on Sunday here, correct?
Yep.
And then you'll go Monday, Tuesday, camp practices, done. That's a wrap for the camp portion of it. And then the Eagles get here Wednesday?
That's right.
Okay. So that's the setup. That's where it is. Boy, that is. I mean, this is a really interesting week.
Yeah.
Eagles come in Wednesday. First joint practice is Thursday.
Okay. All right. So, and we're housing them here?
Yes.
Are they shipping them? Obviously, they're not staying here, but the practices will be
They
here.
will be staying downtown. I think it'll be similar to what the Giants did in the fact that they will go to First Energy, change into their gear, and then bus here.
Okay. And then do it out here. Okay. So we have are those open?
They are not.
For us even? Like we don't even get
People like us.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay. So that would be fun to see. That's always fun when you get to see that a little bit. So that's the way that goes. All right, we were derailed. Any other thing in the copious notes from this weekend that you want to get to, my friend?
Well, yeah, and we'll get time to come back to this, but so just kind of rounding it out. So Javon Wims had a big catch in that 2-minute drill. He was back. This is a guy who's been in 33 career games, 7 starts with the Chicago Bears prior to joining the Cleveland Browns. So he's 6'4". He's a guy that has some size. Maybe he can play his way back into potentially competing for a spot on the team. Like I say, he's been in the league for a couple of seasons. Good size, made a big play in that 2-minute drill. So he's somebody that stood up. Mike Harley Jr. just keeps making plays. Mm-hmm. And I asked Chad O'Shea, what do you like about him? And he said he's not the biggest. He's not the fastest. He's not the most gifted. He just knows how to get open and catches the ball when you throw it to him.
Feels like a win.
That's a win. And so he's somebody that I think has elevated his stock and certainly has a chance, like I said, to be, somebody of consequence. And he's caught passes from Watson. He catches from Brissett, from Dobbs, from Rose, everybody. He's caught a touchdown pass in the last week, actually from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He caught a touchdown from Watson on Friday on a deep seam. He got a touchdown from Brissett in the red zone. The very next play, they went to the threes. He caught a touchdown from Rosen in the red zone, and then he catches a touchdown that wins this 2-minute period yesterday from Dobbs. So he's got a touchdown from every quarterback just over the weekend. So he's had a very nice part of his camp, and he just makes plays. He knows where to be. He's quick. O'Shea's already a fan. He's made plays. He's somebody who's, I think, has helped himself a lot. And now if he can continue that against, Jacksonville, if he ends up having a good game, I think that'll help him. What's he fighting for? Is he fighting for Russ? I don't know. But he's been good. And he's somebody who in this preseason I think has a chance to open up some eyes. I think that's where the receivers, whether it's Felton, Jakeem Grant, who considers himself a receiver, whether it's Mike Harley Jr., whether it's Travell Harris, whether it's Javon Wims, Schwartz even, like these guys in the preseason have to keep making plays. And then I would say in the tight end room, everybody's making plays. And if there's one guy that's, I think, struggled a little bit the last couple of days, has been Miller Forsythe. He's had a couple of just bad drops. Mm-hmm. Stanton catches everything that's thrown his way. Nakia Griffin-Stewart is very much a move tight end who is very good in the pass game. Mitchell Payton keeps making plays. That's one I think that could be very, very interesting in terms of, who are the 4 tight ends when it's all said and done. Bryan and Njoku are locks. Beyond that, I don't think there are any locks. The versatility of Stanton, I think, gives him some type of an edge, but Forrestall's got to bounce back after having a very good spring. He's just kind of slowed down the last couple of days.
So copious.
That's the group, and
that's what you do. This is your. Yeah, it's a good job, Eddie.
Thank you. And we haven't got to the defense yet, but
we got time. We're going to get some time. We'll get into the defensive highlights over the weekend coming up. In addition to that, you'll hear from some of the people we've discussed, including Mr. Newsom and some of the highlights from the Sound over the weekend. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Recycling, family owned and operated. Whether you join them as a customer or as an employee, you'll become part of the family. Visit Rumpke.com to learn more. Before we hear from various luminaries over the weekend, the copious notes on the defensive side of the ball, my friend.
All right, we'll start up front and on the end. Miles and Clowney.
It's a full day.
Miles is operating at a level that I've never even seen, even from him at a practice. He's just wrecking practice from time to time, and it is a tough thing. And I know Jedwell's getting good work against him, and they're working with him, and he's been, much improved. Miles is just on a completely different level. And I thought over the weekend we started to see them start to do some of the games, some of the twists with the defense, some of the stunts, and these two defensive tackles, especially Taven Bryan. Taven Bryan can move. Perrion can move. And they are able to – they were getting around the quarterback quite a bit. So that was good to see from the guys up front. Alex Wright left practice on Saturday but then came right back, and was practicing yesterday, so that was good. You lost Stephen Weatherly over the weekend. He was placed on IR, so he was a veteran in that defensive end room. They bring in Chris Odom, who was the USFL Defensive Player of the Year, former high school teammate actually of Myles Garrett's at Martin High School in Arlington, Texas. So he's in the mix now at that defensive end room. You go to the linebackers, Jacob continues to get all the work at the Mike linebacker. Tox getting some backup Mike linebacker work, which he's having a blast with. But Phillips and Owusu-Koramoah are just excellent. And we're getting A-Walk back, which is going to be good. Secondary-wise, I'll just throw out MJ's getting a ton of work with the ones and playing well. They love him. Greedy's back in the team drills over the weekend. He's been excellent. AJ's been excellent. Greg has been ridiculously good. Grant's been good. John's been good. Ronnie's been good. And then some guys under the radar. Pernell Motley has had a couple of nice practices, got his hands on the ball. DeAnthony Bell had a pick 6 over the weekend off of a pass from Josh Dobbs. He has stood out on multiple practices and gotten recognition internally for that. He is a safety. Lavert Hill, who we signed when we waived Reggie Robinson injured, he had a pick on his first day and off of a Ronnie Harrison tip, and he ended up getting the pick in the back of the end zone. So there's a lot to like in that secondary room. Very deep, incredible competition. I think just not only to make the roster, but to stay in the program, to stay here. There are guys who are playing very well. So DeAnthony Bell, though, he's somebody that I kind of signaled out early. Continues to impress. He can run, and they're excited to see him hit people because they think he's a real physical player as well.
Do you think it is? It's interesting because it's not a surprise that Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett are
Nick's been
are
unreal.
Extraordinary. Yeah. But it feels like this year this camp, the two of them have even been.
I would completely agree.
Like
with you.
It just feels like
Clowney too.
I'm sure you have friends. I have friends who are like, you whether you have a business, you have a trade. You reach a point, usually it's in your mid-40s, where you feel like, okay, I got this sorted out. It's time to stack years and crush this for a while. It feels like they're in the professional athlete equivalent of that right now, Chubb and Myles. They just feel like, I'm the best running back. I'm the best defensive end on the planet. Watch me work. And they both look extraordinary every single practice.
Yeah, and one of the things, to be fair, people, when I was saying earlier that, the number 2 offense led by Brissett got down on the field into field goal range against the number 1 defense and were able to get it done. There are 2 plays. One of them was a big one to Javon Wims that I talked about. I think John Johnson gets a sack, or certainly hits him and disrupts that play, but that ends up being a 40-yard gain. And then there's another one where you'd have a hard time leading me to believe that Myles Garrett isn't getting a sack, but they counted as, like a 15-yard completion over the middle of Johnny Stanton. So take it with a grain of salt that the one defense gave up the field goal at the end of the game, because it could very well have been the case that they gave up nothing and had 2 monster sacks.
Yeah, and so this leads us, great job at you on the notes.
And Myles Garrett, to your point, seems to be enjoying himself. He seems to be more comfortable. He's interacting with the fans every single day, and he is just out there absolutely wrecking shop.
To me, it feels like, I said this last week early on, it feels like he's like, you damn right I'm the face of the franchise. Watch me. Like, that's what it seems like. I mean, he was doing something today with back to school stuff with kids. Like, He's just fully in, as all in as can be is Myles Garrett. And it's really, really cool to see. He's got a chance to be one of the most beloved athletes in this city, in the history of the city. Like, it's in the cards, the way that his career has started, the way that he's taken to the town, the way that he stays here in the off season, all that stuff. It's starting to stack a little bit for him, and you can see it.
You can see it.
All right, let's hear from some of the luminaries. Let's start with John Johnson III, because I think one of the things that's really critical is that while all of this stuff is going on, like we can say like we're not paying attention to it, but there's a lot. The Watson stuff's a lot. You get the Kareem news over the weekend. John Johnson was asked about the team's chemistry this year. Here's what he had to say.
100%. I feel like we're a much closer team, and I think like the most connected team usually wins. You know, when you get down and like late in games, you need that extra little push, that extra chemistry with one another to get over that hump. So I think, like you said, offense, defense, core teamers. I think we're all gelling much better. I don't know if it's because of COVID. You know, we all in the same locker room now, but guys like that I never talked to before. That literally, we're on the same team, around each other every day. I might not have talked to him. I talk to him now, and I think that's like spread across the whole team.
Yeah, that defense has got a lot of juice to it. We mentioned Newsome earlier and just how it feels like he's ready to take a leap. Here's Coach Howard on Newsome. Not getting an interception in a game yet, but you can feel it's coming.
I think plays come to you when you do things correctly. I think when guys start searching and reaching for plays, I think that's when it's not good for the defense, it's not good for the player. I think if you have the right process, you do your job the way that we ask you to do, like plays are going to come to you. And I feel the same way about Greg.
And go ahead.
Greg was around the ball a lot. He had, double-digit pass breakups in his rookie year. He is going to be just fine. Interceptions sometimes are a factor of luck. Yes, and they've got to throw the ball in your direction. I think Greg, it's all going to come for him. I'm not worried about that. I really think at the end of this year, though, he is going to be regarded as one of the best corners in the league, and our cornerback tandem is going to be regarded as absolutely elite in the game.
Where are we on Denzel from a health standpoint?
Hopefully soon, right? I mean, I think that's what we all want.
A couple weeks
Hopefully
in here
soon.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just wonder where that will be.
The good news is it's foot, but he's been, and it's what happened at the end of the minicamp, but he's in sneakers the whole time. He's going through everything outdoors. Yeah. He's cheering on his teammates, able to run around and jump around. So I think it's a matter of time, and they're just being cautious. And Denzel Ward is one of those known, proven commodities, and you want him for week one. Week one of the preseason doesn't matter for Denzel Ward. Week one matters, and I think they have a plan to make sure that does happen. But the benefit of this is you are getting a tremendous amount of quality first-team reps for A.J. Green and M.J. Emerson.
Man, I like the look of that kid.
Did
he have a good weekend, Emerson?
He had a very good weekend. So did A.J. Green. I mean, and they're both tall. They're both around 6'2". Mm-hmm. But MJ is just the way that he moves, everything about him. It feels like the Browns got a very good value with him in that third round, and I know they are quite pleased.
That the secondary, the back seven here has a chance to be just absolutely a problem for every team that it plays. And then when you couple with that the fact that you have those two defensive ends, that's why there is such a comfort around here, regardless of the Watson situation, because of how good this defense is and how it's built. It's built for sustainability. A lot of these guys are really young. They're under contract for a long time. Clowney, obviously, just for 1 year, but almost everybody else is either locked up long-term or still on rookie deals. So this defense is going to grow together at a very high level for many, many years to come, and you're seeing it on display here in camp. One other thing I wanted to backtrack on a little bit, we had the Hoff on all last week. Yeah. We talked about his work that he was doing on the offensive line. He went out for a second session. I think it was a Friday after our show. He went back out there again and got some work in.
Yeah, and got to be around them. Yeah.
Spent some time with Jed Wills. Coach Callahan was asked about Jed Wills and how he's feeling in regard to, obviously, some of Joe's work as well. Here's Coach Callahan on that.
He's coming along. We're trying some different things, with him in terms of pass protection. We're trying to get him to feel comfortable, not only with his set, but with the different types of hand usage that we're trying to employ. And Joe Thomas has been incredibly helpful, and it's great to have him back with us.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And I love that
we
for the
feel
Hoff,
that way.
too, because you could tell he had joy in it. It was a lot of fun
the
for
best
him.
time ever.
Yeah.
Like, he loved it. It was more than joy for him. It was literally, he could not have been happier.
Yeah. Very good on that front. The only other thing that I wanted to get to here was Cade York, who's been great in camp. Just hits booming one after booming one. He's got a fantastic mustache. He was working last week. Last I saw him, I'm assuming that thing is still cruising along.
Yep.
He was available over the weekend as well and spoke about the confidence that he has in the long field goals especially.
Anything in my range, I'm going out there thinking the same way. Just 3 points on the board, whether it's a short field goal, long field goal, PAT, just they put me out there for it. I'm going to have confidence in myself, and I'm going to put it through. So,
got to be a different dude to be a kicker, man.
Yes, and he is a different dude in terms of temperament and in terms of talent. And yesterday they gave him an opportunity to make a 45-yard field goal, and if he did, practice would be over. If not, there was going to be more stuff to come, and he drilled it.
Buried it.
Got lifted up on the shoulders of his teammates. He's only missed 2 kicks so far in all of training camp, and both were from 55-plus. Now, he's made from 55-plus too, but anything under 55 yards so far, he is perfect in this training camp.
Which was, I don't know names, but do you remember the camp where we couldn't make any?
I do. There have been a few like that.
There's one in my mind especially where it was like, can somebody make one, please? Can we make one? So this
is
is
not
different.
like that. It is very different.
This is very, very,
very
different.
different.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we'll have a little fun with the Hall of Fame weekend down in Canton. You see the ratings for this thing on Thursday? I'm telling you, they got
better than the NBA Finals, but still better than NBA Finals and better than NHL.
Well, some it was like 5.4 or whatever.
Sure.
So it was better than NHL for sure, better than a lot of the golf. But yeah, I mean it is dwindling. They need to got to get it right.
That's why they should do what we wanted, what we said.
Or you could do it week 3 of the preseason, so it's like the dress rehearsal.
A dress rehearsal game. Sure.
That would work too. Figure something out. But we'll have a little fun with that coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Serious lawyer, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk and Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. All right, this is who came up with this list. We got a list. First of all, before we do that, fix the Hall of Fame weekend. What would you do right? Did you read, by the way, Joe Varden's piece in The Athletic on the Hall of Fame setup down there?
No.
The Hall of Fame Village, the whole operation.
I was there last year with my buddy for Edger and James. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. But like that Hall of Fame Village, like they're going to do a water park and the hotels and all these other things that are going to be going on down there. Yeah. It's really ambitious.
Feels like it.
Yeah, and it's cost a lot.
I'd like it to be a great water park, though. I don't want no average water park. I'd like it to be an elite water park. An elite water park is one of the great experiences.
How do you define it?
Have. Great slides, lots of slides, tons of slides, so that there are not a lot of, like, the lines aren't
the
untenable.
Last part's the most important.
Right.
It's not even so much that, I mean, because be honest, like what's the best water slide you've ever ridden in your life? Is it either the straight down or one of the turny ones that last forever? Those usually
no,
the
like
best.
the ones that
the drop.
Did you ever go when Geauga Lake was open?
No.
So they had 3 of them that were like way up, and they were tight, dark tubes, and like you were flying down around the whole deal in dark. Felt like you were going up sometimes, even though you were going down. And they were tremendous. Give me some of that. Inject that into my veins. Give me why can't we have 12 of those at one place? Let's get 12 ones like that. Let's get a couple of the ones that drop you through straight down and you go crazy in there. Let's get some ones that were all together in a tube. We're going around the big funnel. That's always fun. Let's do all that stuff. Get a great lazy river.
You love it, right? Who doesn't love a lazy river?
And how about a great adventurous river? Let's have all the rivers. Let's have it all. I love a good water park.
I do, too.
I don't even know where there's a good water park. Like the Cedar Point one, sorry.
I've heard the Cedar Point one was good. I just had reviews that it's new and it's all great, that they got it sorted out.
So is it new from like 2 years ago? Like they fixed it?
No, probably not.
Yeah, then no.
So it's not?
Not that many great slides and a lot of long lines. That's not a great water park experience for me.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. I was trying to find...
Like somebody needs to make Cedar Point has an embarrassment of riches of roller coasters.
Right?
They do. So there's
8
elite roller coasters, okay?
Yep.
Or 6, whatever. Somebody give me a water park that's the equivalent of that, where there's 10 I gotta go on these rides.
I don't have a problem with that.
And let's crank them through. Let's get efficient in our process here. Let's go.
That's the key to it. That's the real key to it, is that all right, so this has got to be what they had at Geauga Lake. That's at the Royal Caribbean thing.
Yeah, that looks
We stopped at that place on the Buckeye Cruise. I stopped there at that joint.
That looks fantastic.
And that top thing, you go all the way to the top. It's 9 stories up.
Fine.
And 10 stories, and it just whips around. You get in the tube. You can't see anything. It's pitch black.
Yes.
You have no idea where you are.
Fantastic.
I felt like I was going to drown.
But
a little bit. Didn't. Felt like it.
And when I was a kid, we had raging waters where we had ones where you had these big humps, and you go flying off the humps in there, and then somewhere you'd fly off of a hump into the water, and then now they have the things that you slide down and shoot back up off these ramps and fly around into water. Give me that. Everything that's that's a hit anywhere where people are like, oh wow, this is great. Give me one water park that's got it all.
One of those coffin drops where you get in there, and they close it, and then the bottom
freaks me out. I don't like those.
They have one of those there too. That was a full day.
Those make me 3-second countdown makes me
3,
very
2,
uncomfortable.
1.
Yeah, I am like that.
Not great.
Yeah,
I don't like.
I have no
not
problem
crazy.
slingshotting myself into a dark one. I don't care about that. Even if it's straight down, right out. You get in and it's go.
Yeah.
No problem. But when I'm standing there and
the
thing that you're counting on with the ground when you stand on it is that it's there and stable, and then it's not.
Yeah.
And
Bit much.
I'll do it.
Yeah, they should do that though. They should take our notes. Do you and I have a future as water slide consultants?
I think so.
Could we build these things?
Yes.
It feels like the only thing that's tough about building something like that here is that the weather sucks for 8 months.
Right, it's not going to be here, and I've accepted that it won't be here.
So you really need to do one of these in Phoenix.
Yeah,
it's probably where you need to be,
where
or Florida.
Going. That's where the Hoff.
With the you imagine if the Hoff builds us a casita, just a little casita we could pop into.
I've in on his pool house, and it's
what I'm saying.
Beautiful. Yeah,
yeah.
I think
just
we
pop in there.
Pop in there, sure.
I'll
cook.
Hey, Hoff.
Hey,
I'll bring the whiskey.
Let's play some
Away
golf.
We go.
Like the fact that he loves. Why have we not golfed?
I didn't know that he did.
Me neither.
Then until you asked him that he did.
It's got to be breathtaking to watch him strike the golf ball.
I just imagine if it's with anything with him, if he ever were to start it, I feel like he'd be a 3 handicap in a month.
In no time, yeah.
Just too good an athlete.
I will say though, big play Gare, hit the ball farther than I've ever seen anybody hit a golf ball, but his range was 300 yards right and left. So
there was no way to corral it.
No, but when he did happen to hit one that was findable, boy, it was a peach.
Pretty great on a scramble situation. Especially if they have somebody like you who's always going to hit
there.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you get to use that.
You might only get 3 out of the 18 not from big play gear, but those 3 will be spectacular.
Those would be great. Yeah. All right. Very good. Bunch of new people. Just faces, trying to sort them out. I don't know all these humans.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. All right. Gibby, is Gibby playing this with us, or are you on some conference call?
Are you playing, Gibby?
Are you playing this game with us? Are they in or are they out? What are we doing? Are you playing the game?
I mean, I can. You want Stevie to fill in?
Why don't you have Stevie fill in on your project?
Yeah.
Have him fill in on your project and you fill in here.
Well, I'll play. We can play right now.
Go, play. Let's go.
Let's go. In or out. A little traveling music on a Monday, Paul.
You got it. Paulus is 2 steps ahead of you and 3 steps ahead of Secret Service.
We can't hear it in here. Why?
You know, it's funny.
Because that studio is wired spectacularly.
So when you built it. When we came back to air.
You built it.
As we came back to air, Stevie's looking at me and he's going, go, go, go. And I'm like, I can't, there's nothing in my ears. There's Stevie. Nothing here. And he's like trying to figure it out. So apparently as we were relaxing in the break and I had my foot up here, I kicked this off. Right here, this little button right here.
Oh, baby.
I kicked that off, and that's why there was no audio.
Oh.
But I figured it out.
Of course
figured
you did.
it out.
You're
in
a
a matter of
solver.
seconds. Thrive on enthusiasm.
Oh, boy.
All right, go ahead.
Easy. People are replaceable.
And have been already.
I believe that we've had this conversation.
Well, listen, you and I both know I don't need this job.
You're not going anywhere. Stop. I'm not listening.
I was going to say, we'll see you on the course Thursday morning. Tea time, 7 a.m.
Can I get a standing 107 tea time?
Waka.
That would be the one thing if we could move this show to
another time.
Yeah. To a 3 to 5 or just go 9 to 11. Oh, baby.
Well, that would be a bit of a conflict
for you.
For me, but if I'm not here, then you can do whatever you want.
His other co-host.
Just have me on your other program, then we can just have fun down
Just
there.
do that.
Yeah.
Sort that out.
How about that?
From CBSSports.com, NFL's top 20 players not in the Hall of Fame.
Where the heck is Patrick Willis?
He's on this list. Hold on.
He should be in.
Oh, hold on. My call just ended. I can get my laptop and use it.
There you go.
He should be number 1. 5-time first-team All-Pro.
He should not be. You are dumb.
Jeez, you're dumb.
Give me a bet. How about it, instead of name calling, give me a coherent argument as to why I'm wrong.
The only person on this list who I could say deserves it as much is Zach Thomas.
Yep.
Zach Thomas not being in is borderline criminal based on resume and precedent.
Well, that would put him ahead of Patrick Willis.
They're right there, though. They're 1 and 2. They should be 1-2.
I don't know about that.
Patrick Willis is the linebacker equivalent of – he's even more accomplished than Terrell Davis was.
Zach Thomas, 7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro in 12 seasons. Okay? You heard that, Gibbe?
Yep.
What was he?
7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first-team All-Pro in 12 seasons. Patrick Willis, 7 seasons in the league, 7 Pro Bowls, 5 first-team All-Pros.
And he's
only
played one second-team All-Pro.
So the problem is...
No, it's not because there's already precedent.
How can you say that it's a problem?
No, because it's what Baselli ran into. Did you play long enough?
Okay.
Okay, hold on a second.
I
know you're
not.
This, I'm just saying.
I'm saying that has been the argument with some of these.
All you have to do is do the Terrell Davis thing, and it's done.
Thank you.
Terrell Davis's resume: 3-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowl,
7 seasons.
7 seasons.
Next,
like Gale Sayers too. It's the same. There are guys who have done this. Honestly, Willis is more accomplished than Baselli. He's more accomplished than Davis. And I feel the same about Thomas.
3-time first-team All-Pro in 7 seasons. The guy was first-team All-Pro 5 times in 7 seasons.
It's got to be
5.
It's got to be who's presenting him.
Easy.
Who's presenting him?
5.
Who's presenting Patrick Willis? Because they're failing him.
They're failing him. It's insane.
It's like it's not known. He should have been a first
Sitowski,
ballot.
by the way, was at Cedar Point's Pack Weekend. Not impressed with the lazy river. Water slide lines were too long. Dried by the time of sliding. Cocktails at the adult pool saved the day. $50 entry, a bit outrageous. Water park turd.
Who's
not a ringing endorsement?
What?
I think it's hard because you're talking. I mean, again, how much can you invest in a water park in Ohio?
True. Somebody says Volcano Bay and Universal in Florida is exactly what you're talking about. A must visit. Okay, that's good to know.
Volcano Bay.
That's what he says.
So I was on my call when you guys were talking about this. Did you mention Zambezi Bay in Columbus?
It's not in the same league as these, though.
I like the water slides.
Well,
I mean, those are some pretty spectacular.
they have some, but it's boy, this Universal thing is.
That looks pretty good.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, let's go. Does
That's
it have
where
this
it's
thing
at.
though? Does it have this thing? This
With
guy?
with that big guy who jumped off.
Yeah, look at
Where
this
is
guy.
that?
I don't know, but my water park has to have one of these things. That's at the Frenzy Water Park. Look at.
I looked it up and I kept just getting like someplace in Malaysia.
How fun does that look?
That feels like a home run. Oh my gosh, this thing's unbelievable. This volcano water park. Holy cow!
I love a good water park.
I mean, this is unbelievable.
All right. In or out?
Go.
We started this.
Patrick Willis in first.
Zach Thomas
Okay.
in.
Zach
live.
Thomas in lock.
Great. Their honorable mention was Andre Johnson. In or out?
Hold on, I got to get the resume.
All right, you pull up on.
7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 11th all-time in receptions and receiving yards.
By the way, do you know Torrey Holt's 7-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro only, and he's number 2 on this list. Whoever made this, people don't know how to make lists anymore, especially at CBS. I've found their lists to be dreadful.
Yeah, CBS is struggling with their lists.
Bad lists.
Also, the other thing that's troubling that I think is going to be really hard is there's going to be a glut of receivers.
Yes.
Because everybody throws the ball now, right? So, like,
Yep.
trying to compare Sterling Sharp to Torrey Holt, it's pretty tough.
Now, Sterling Sharp, though, I think has a very interesting case because if
It's a
I'm not
big what if.
mistaken,
Pretty sure it's a short career.
but I think it might have been a
3-time first-team
Yeah.
All-Pro,
Yeah.
5 Pro Bowls, 3 times NFL reception leader, 2-time NFL receiving touchdowns leader.
He was the last person to do the wide receiver triple crown before Cooper Kupp did it last year. I want to say it was like 92.
7 seasons.
seven seasons. 3-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler.
His
I
last
tell
season.
you, that's why they're getting left out.
By
But
the
why
way-
is Baselli in? Why is Davis in?
Because
I mean, it doesn't
Pete
make
Prisco
sense.
literally made it his life's work to get Tony Baselli in the Hall of Fame.
He
Is-
won then.
Is Prisco still partying right now?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
The
My
fact
God.
that Patrick Willis is in the Hall of Fame is a joke.
Sterling Sharp's last season, 94 receptions, 1,100 yards, 18 touchdowns
Yep.
in his last season, his
That's right.
7th and final season.
That's right.
At a time when the ball was not being thrown around like it is now.
No. He had 112 catches in 93, 108 in 92.
Yep.
He was a dude.
Yes.
I wonder if he was, because he was pretty loud as a commentator. I wonder if that turned some people off, which is a shame.
Get
But
over it.
I agree.
Patrick Willis doesn't say anything, so where the heck is he at? That guy's
Willis and Zach Thomas should be on the
right.
first ballot. So next year it should be Hoff, Rivas, and those two.
It's a girl.
It says
being
somebody
heaven.
saying that nobody in next year, and not one person in the class next year is an automatic. Not
Who would
true.
ever say that? Someone didn't say that, did they?
Not me.
Nobody with any credibility. The first thing you have to look at on this is it's all pro. That's it.
right.
Are you the best at your position? If you're the best at your position for any amount of time, that matters. That's got to matter more than anything else.
Yes. Yes. This is, again, it's the Hall of Great. It's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Good.
All right,
Patrick
so
Willis is elite, and how
Zach
dare
Thomas,
you with your
you have
blasphemous
in.
argument, Gibbon?
do you have Torrey Holt
Good
in or
God.
out?
Are you guys aware that I mean, you guys are, but just for the folks out there, because we've been calling. There was a time we've been calling the Hoff as long as you and I have been doing this show together.
Yep.
And at one point they were like, "Well, we might not want to call him that because maybe he's not." And first of all, he already was. He was already in the College Football Hall of
Yes,
Fame.
thank you.
But I'm like, "Oh no, he's first ballot." And it was like, "Are you aware that he is a 10-time All-Pro, 8-time first team, 2-time second team? I'm sorry, 8-time All-Pro, 6-time first team,
Yes.
2-time second team."
And six is fairly
6-time
rarefied air.
All-Pro, man. Come on. 10 Pro Bowls?
Yes.
Jeez.
And the consecutive streaks. And
Oh.
when he wasn't, he was second team All-Pro,
Twice.
Twice.
Okay, he's an 8-time All-Pro.
and he was number 2 in the Offensive Rookie of the Year voting his rookie year. Yes.
You have to be all pro. That's why, I mean, honestly, the Willis Zach Thomas stuff is pretty crazy because when you're talking about five all pros. I mean, they start keeping track. There's a steady list of guys that have 6 all pros, first team all pros, and they're all in the Hall of Fame. Every one of them.
So
except for Jim Tyrer. I don't know why he's not, but he's not.
So here's what you got. Okay, to your point, only 25 people have ever been more 7 or more.
Yeah.
25 ever, and they are 100% all in the Hall of Fame. At 6 times, you mentioned that Shane Leckler also not in the Hall of Fame. Was 6-time first-team All-Pro as a punter. I feel like that should get him in there.
Yeah.
You got the Hoff, Jim Trier, you mentioned, Bobby Wagner, who will be in the Hall of Fame. But everybody else's 6 is in there.
Yep.
Like, I mean, he's a lock of locks. His qualifications are vastly superior to that of Revis.
Yes, for sure.
Revis, 4-time All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, on the Hall of Fame All-2010s team.
So is Hoff.
So is the Hoff, duh.
No,
So
Hoff's in. Hoff's first ballot.
So is Patrick Willis, by the way.
I wish Patrick Willis should be on there too. I wish somebody would do. Wasn't it Bob Kravitz who presented Peyton Manning, and all he said was it's Peyton Manning. That's all he said. Done. That's
Done.
enough. We don't. It's Joe Thomas. That's enough. Hey Stevie, let's play guess the stats. Can you name the there are 2 quarterbacks that have been named All-Pro 7 times. Only 2 in NFL history that have been named 7 times or more. There's 2 quarterbacks in NFL history been named All-Pro 7 times. They're both 7.
I'm not
and
looking
that's
at
the
it,
most.
to be fair, but I think I know the answer.
I bet you do. Yep. There are 2 of them. 2 quarterbacks.
I feel like this is a trick question. I feel like Tom Brady is not one of them.
That would be correct.
Peyton Manning.
And
Correct. That's one of them.
I'm thinking back for a little bit.
You got a good radio voice, Stevie.
I know.
I know.
That's why I'm here.
I like it. That's a good job out of him. That's a good job at it. I like you more now, Stevie.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm trying to think back even like a little bit further.
Yeah, you're in the right.
Keep doing it.
In the right mindset.
Just kind of look
You're
around.
where you need to be.
I'm trying to be a little bit more. Roger Staubach?
Demerit.
Demerit. Sorry.
And when Z said look around, look where you are.
That would have made sense. It was a good hint. Right
Well,
over
it
my
is.
head, Zagura.
That's all right. So we'll give you the
We're getting
opportunity
there.
to answer it, though. You can still answer it. You can say it. Do you have it, Stevie?
I do not.
Otto
Otto Graham.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stevie tried to make it seem like he had it,
Yeah, but then he didn't.
but he didn't.
never-
Yeah.
He didn't have it. So it was a good hint.
7
for
good
nothing.
hint.
Pros.
For nothing.
Plane did not land.
No.
Those
We're
2.
getting there.
Those are the 7s. Peyton Manning and Otto
I would
Graham
have guessed Steve Young. But
are the only 7-time
Did you hear that?
only quarterbacks with 7 times or more.
Did you hear that? I would have Jeez, that's just pure.
Of course it was.
I would've-
There's not even a quarterback with 6. So those 2 have 7. Nobody else has 6.
My guess is that Joe's at
Rot-
4.
Huh?
Montana, 4.
I would think that Aaron Rodgers would have, because he's got 4 MVPs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got to have 4. Joe's got to have 4. Brady's got to have 3.
Yeah. Doesn't even go down that far. They only list the people that the rarefied
6.
airs of those with 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. There's some amazing tackles on this list, like Jim Parker, Anthony Munoz, 9 first-team
9.
All-Pros. My God.
Yeah.
That's just pretty crazy. Bruce Matthews was 7. Randall McDaniel was a guard, obviously, but
I feel like
yeah.
Bulldog Turner was a force.
what a name.
That's a great name.
Great name.
Roger Craig, in or out?
In. Here's why.
He's
There
1,000,
we go.
1,000.
I knew this was gonna
1,000,
happen.
1,000. 1,000, 1,000 in the 80s, guys. In the 80s. Yes, he only has 1 first-team All-Pro. Guess what? Wasn't even first-team All-Pro the year he did that, which to me is outrageous.
It had to be like Dickerson, right? Dickerson
4-time
ran for
Pro
like
Bowler, 1-time
2,200
first-team
yards.
All-Pro. I
Walter?
mean,
It's 85. It was 85.
85.
He did it. Who was first team All-Pro
1,050
in
rushing,
85?
9 touchdowns, 1,016 receiving, 6 touchdowns. He was
Caught 92
second
balls
team,
in
92 balls.
1985 out of the running back position.
Yeah. He had 2 different 2,000 yards from scrimmage seasons in his career. That's nuts back then.
Marcus Allen and Walter Payton, first team All-Pro.
Eddie Company.
What the heck did they do?
I don't know. Roger Craig, Gerald Riggs, and Freeman McNeil were second team.
Gerald Riggs could run, brother.
85 Bears.
85
so Peyton would have got that love on the 85 Bears.
1551 rushing for Peyton, 9 touchdowns.
That's pretty big at that time.
I mean, Craig's got 2,000 total yards. What did
Peyton had 2,000 total yards?
Oh,
as
he
well.
did too. Okay.
Yep.
And then who was the other one? Marcus.
Marcus Allen.
That was peak of his powers.
Ran for 1759 and 11. He had 67 catches for 555 as well. Led the league with 447 touches, 2,314 yards from. He was also the MVP, the Offensive Player of the Year, and first team.
By the way, the Raiders had him and then said, "Yeah, we'll take Bo Jackson too."
Yeah.
And Super Tecmo Bowl said thank you.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Honestly, I think the only guys on this list that should be like in next year with Joe and Revis are Zach Thomas, Patrick Willis, and then I think you could make an interesting conversation about Sterling Sharp if you wanted to. Everyone else can hang out for a little bit.
All right. Well, that's in or out. I made an attempt. We got through it.
You did a good job.
You did a good job. Your slander of Patrick Willis still will not be forgotten anytime soon.
No, I wasn't slandering Patrick Willis.
You told me I was a buffoon.
A dumb? Didn't you say dumb?
Dumb, yeah.
No, I cleaned it
You
up.
stop being
Normally
dumb?
I call you something else.
He said,
but
stop being
you
dumb.
said that would be
Stop
frowned
being
upon.
dumb.
Yeah.
Was exactly what it was. We will go around the NFL coming up next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Friends here at Renew Home Exteriors. Upgrade the look of your home with new siding from Renew Home Exteriors. Receive $1,500 off and free insulation wrap plus 0% interest for qualified buyers. In addition, Renew Home Exteriors will meet or beat competitors' estimates by up to 10% or pay you $100. Hear from their customer. This is Blake. He said, quote, Renew did an excellent job with my roof and siding. Very professional crew, good rates, showed up on time. I couldn't be more pleased and would do repeat business in a heartbeat. Beautify your home with premium siding and roofing products at lower prices with Renew Home Exteriors. Text estimate to 71441 to book or visit renewestimate.com for more. As we go around the boy, I tell you what, I was tongue-in-cheek. N'Keal Harry got hurt at Bears camp over the weekend.
Yeah.
Severe high ankle sprain. Not that he was going to be some savior. I almost wonder, there's no way that they can improve that team with Justin Fields on it because they gave up so much to get him that it just feels like he's going to be completely wasted and lost. There's just no way I can see him overcoming it.
It's very sad. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Tough spot there. How's Trey Lance doing out in San Francisco? Have you heard from Pedro?
I have not. What I was told was last time was that they are very excited about his raw talent, that it is his team. There's obviously some concerns about how quickly he can come along, but they're excited about what he brings in terms of his athleticism. And he's got a cannon. Steve Weich was telling me he just has an absolute cannon. Like the way that he throws the ball, it's just whips it.
Do you think it'll be tricky at all, given that the last times that they've been healthy with Garoppolo, they've been to the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, that some on that team will look around and go, are we sure we got this?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about Jimmy G is, and I'm trying to think of what other quarterback in the league could say that. In my last, other than Mahomes, right? Mahomes could say that. But when was the last time he went to the Super? Was he in the Super Bowl 2 years ago?
He was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Lost
right?
it. Yeah,
lost.
So in his last 2 full seasons, he's gone to a Super Bowl and a championship game.
Yeah.
Lost both. So is Jimmy Garoppolo. Those are the only 2 people that can say that.
Yeah.
Because this year,
Mahomes has gone
Brady didn't even
win it, lose it, AFC Championship game last 3 years.
Yep.
With the last 2 healthies for Garoppolo, that's what he's done. I just wonder, like, if you're a veteran on the 49ers, if you look around and go, every time Lance lets one fly and it gets loose, you're like, boy, I don't know. This guy seemed to be pretty close with this guy, right?
What they would say is, we feel like we can get close with him, and we need to get over the hump. And we feel that this guy's got the skills to get us over the hump.
Yeah.
Look, the good news for the Niners is that they play in the NFC. And it's kind of wide open.
Oh, you're on? What, sir? Do you have something?
I was just going to add your around the league commentary when you were ready.
Oh, no, we're ready. Go ahead.
This just coming off of the call I was just on. The NFL has asked officials to pay particular attention to illegal contact fouls in 2022. Big drop in 2021, classified as a point of clarification, formerly known as point of emphasis. Look for a potential spike in flags. We also spent a lot of time on the call talking about taunting.
Oh, God. Enough with this.
No. The good news is, what's going to draw the flag from, and this I'm paraphrasing here, what is going to draw the flag is if someone takes a step towards the player and tries to get in that person's face.
Good. Everything
Otherwise,
else is nonsense.
They're being told a lot to back off here.
Good.
So
the illegal contact thing is tough because they've already disadvantaged the defense significantly in the NFL, and now you're going to call a lot more illegal contact, which is a penalty on the defense. And what are these DBs supposed to do? You can't touch the receivers anymore. You can't touch the quarterbacks.
What do you want them to do?
Yeah.
What do you want them to do? Illegal contact is any contact that occurs more than 5 yards down the field, right?
Yeah. By the way, speaking of your taunting thing, did you see what Rule did over the weekend to Baker and Hollywood?
I did.
So Hollywood reached the ball over the end zone.
He scored, and he did the red carpet thing in a scrimmage.
And then he gave the ball to a fan in the stands.
Whatever. And so, everybody celebrates, and Rule blows the whistle on it and says, we're not doing that. Offense runs. Like, come on.
And it's something about
Come on, tough guy. Chill out a little bit, right? It's a scrimmage. There's fans.
Let me tell you, hey, it worked out really well for Joe Judge last year with the Giants.
I'm telling you, if you're going to take that stance, you better be Belichick, Saban. Like you got to be somebody like that if you're going to take that stance.
I feel like there are a lot of these guys that think Bill Belichick wins because he's mean and because he's nasty and demanding, when in reality he probably wins in spite of that because he's just so darn good.
Correct. And he had the best quarterback of all time for 20 years.
That's right.
Because before and after, it hasn't been that great.
Useful.
That seemed to be important.
They did go 11-5 with Matt Castle, which is pretty impressive to me.
They did.
Year. Yeah.
They did.
And I believe Matt Castle got paid as a result of that somewhere.
The previous other than that one's anomaly season, was Randa still on that team?
Randa Moss?
I believe he was. I believe Randa Moss was on that team with Matt Castle. I believe he was. Because that was right after Brady threw for the 50 touchdowns, wasn't it? When they lost the perfect season.
Yeah, with
and
Bernard.
Did he come back the next year?
Bernard Pollard got
him. Yeah.
Something to watch in New Orleans. Jameis Winston rolling his ankle today, undergoing further evaluation. Andy Dalton, QB1 for now.
If I'm them, then I push all in. I push all in. I go Taysom Hill for the year. I go 2-15.
Their D's too good. And they
got
they're too
Olave
good.
and Thomas, and
if he's done, I'd bring Jimmy G in, and you can absolutely
you can do that too.
Go to
in
the
that
playoffs.
Division,
You'll end up being you're fighting to win the division.
That's true.
And you go second, you're a playoff team for sure.
Yeah, they would be. Yep.
That's a perfect situation.
Carolina's
You got
a mess.
Kamara, you got some receivers who work the middle of the field well, and Thomas and Jarvis, which is where he likes to throw the ball, and you've got a
Thomas,
great
Jarvis,
defense.
and Olave. That's a really good receiving core.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go get Jimmy G. They should have done that anyway.
Jameis is good. Come on, you can't turn. We're Jameis.
You know, I was a big
Truthers.
Jameis guy until last year, though, dude. Last year when I watched him play, it was a debacle.
Let me just, in his defense, just to be kind to him, he was 5-2 in those 7 games. 14 touchdowns, 3 picks.
It wasn't. That doesn't do the story, brother. I'm telling you.
It feels pretty good. Quarterback rating of 103. I mean, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't like he was throwing the ball all around the yard, but you know, it's far cry from the year he threw for 5,000 touchdowns. But if you told me that Jameis Winston would go from a season in which he threw 33 touchdowns and 30 picks to then throw 14 with 3, that's probably the one 5-2.
I'll admit that's better than I thought, than in my mind's eye it was. And it might have been just I watched him play one game and it was a disaster.
Yeah.
I can't remember what game it was, but I just remember coming in here on a Monday. It was in the afternoon window.
Okay.
And that's a window that's tough for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, buddy, I'm telling you, it ain't it.
5-2. 14. He had 2 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
Not bad.
J.K. Dobbins off the PUP list. He's taking a victory lap today. Didn't he get in a fight with a reporter about this?
That'd be Rappaport.
Was it with Rappaport he was fighting with?
And
what was that about?
That's when he said that Dobbins wouldn't be ready, and Dobbins came back and said right back to Rap Seed, I would. And then McAfee was talking about how Dobbins dunked all over Rappaport.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be you're going to have to deal with them in the regular season, to say the least.
They did say that they do not believe that Gus Edwards will be ready week 1.
Okay. All right. A couple of anomalies. We have Derrick Henry breaking a helmet with a stiff arm at yesterday's practice.
What does that mean?
He just hit. I don't know. I don't know what that means either. We all have those padded things now on our helmets now.
Well, if he would have had to have been on a DB because they wouldn't have been wearing that. And then the Guardian caps.
Guardian caps. Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
I like those things. This also from Chiefs safety Justin Reed. He nailed a 65-yard field goal at yesterday's practice.
Yeah. Incredible. He's got a big leg.
You don't say.
I do.
That's pretty good. When he's done playing safety, maybe he can kick. Use him as a kickoff specialist.
I thought, wasn't there when he was in Houston, right?
Yeah, he was.
Wasn't there? He was trying. There was a game where their kicker, like Firebairn, got hurt, and he wanted to kick. And I think he did kickoffs, but they wouldn't try a field goal with him.
Huh. I mean, if you can make from 65, to me, that would be a pretty good indicator that you could go.
That he's got some skills. Sure.
Yeah, sure. For sure. All right. All right, ESPN.com, NFL's best players at every defensive position. Okay, we'll have a little fun with this. That's coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The Land on Demand is now free in the palm of your hands during the entire month of August. ESPN Cleveland and the Bath Authority giving fans free access to the Land on Demand for all the news you don't want to miss. See us live in our brand new studios. Replay all your favorite shows commercial free and on demand. Get all access to Tony Grossi's Browns analysis and more. Visit thelandondemand.com or download the app today. The Land on Demand remodeled by our good friends at the Bath Authority. So this is from ESPN.com. NFL's best players ever at every defensive position is the question on this. All-time best defense.
And why it's not yes, but they're only picking one at each spot, which I don't get. Why wouldn't we do the
they're
two edge rushers?
Two edge rushers.
It's not just one.
So first of all, right away we got to decide what we're doing with Lawrence Taylor, who's an
edge,
a 3-4 outside linebacker edge.
Yes.
But he's, it's a different position than the position. He plays it very differently than, say, Reggie White played it. Reggie White was a defensive end too,
but was also kind of a defensive
tackle,
kind of a defensive
tackle
Watt.
sitting inside, a little bit like J.J. Watt. So that's the tricky thing there. I think anytime I've seen an all NFL team, Lawrence Taylor is listed as an outside linebacker. Right?
Yes, right. But that's edges encompassing.
Right. No, I get it. I'm just saying, when you call him an edge, you're taking out all the other defensive ends.
Right.
That are traditional defensive ends.
Bruce Smith might be the best.
Yeah, Bruce Smith, hand in the ground.
Yeah.
Sometimes, not all the times, but stand up on the line defensive stuff.
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor is the best defensive player I've ever seen.
He's dominant. I mean, Reggie White, 12 double-digit sack seasons in 15 years. Lawrence Taylor had 7 in 13 years. You could argue that Taylor flashed the brights, but White was a relentless, unstoppable force for the better part of 2 decades. White, 198
Reggie White
sacks,
was unbelievable.
Pair Defensive Player of the Years, 13 All-Pros, and a Super Bowl ring. That's obviously not first-team only.
Reggie White, though, is 8 first-team All-Pros. Guess who else has 8? Somebody else you mentioned. Bruce Smith has 8 first-team All-Pros. Lawrence Taylor has 8 first-team All-Pros.
Bruce Smith was really, really good.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. But if you're going to see, to me, Bruce Smith, Reggie White feel very different to me as a player than Lawrence Taylor.
Yes, I would in fact want to. In my mind, I'd have Bruce Smith on one outside, Lawrence Taylor on the other outside, and then I'd have inside Reggie White at and Aaron Donald, and I think we'd be pretty.
And we're leaving Joe Green off.
I think we'd be pretty good. We are leaving Joe Green off.
Which Aaron Donald has more All Pros. He's 7 first-team All Pros now for Aaron Donald.
7 in 8 seasons.
7 in 8 seasons for him.
3 Defensive Player of the Year awards.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see Joe Green. It doesn't even look like Joe Green has 6.
Yeah,
all right.
He's
so there you go. So you got Donald.
Yep.
Donald, White, Smith, Taylor.
Yep. Well, I'm good with that. Linebackers.
So they have Ray Lewis as the number 1 linebacker. He was really, really good. I'm sure. I mean, I think Mike Singletary right away. Mike Singletary has 7 first-team All-Pros. That's the first linebacker I thought of.
Ray has 7 first
Ray's
teams.
got 7 too. Yep. Yeah. They both have 7.
I mean, they're both very good.
Yeah, they are. Is there anybody we're missing that's in that? Both of those Steelers guys have 6. Hammond,
I mean,
Lambert,
at some
both
point,
have 6.
Bobby Wagner's got to be.
Well, he's
on
close.
Here.
He's 6 right now,
but he doesn't even get a vote. He's not even considered anything.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis, huh? 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, only player in NFL history to have 40 sacks and 30 interceptions in a career. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is very, very good.
All right, corner 100% Dion, and the fact that it's not 50 out of 50 to me is stunning.
Who else is in the corner spot? Who's the opposite corner to Dion?
Chucky Wood, Rod Woodson.
Rod Woodson's probably more accomplished than Chucky. People forget how good I think Rod Woodson's got 6 first-team All-Pros.
How many does Chucky Wood have?
But some of the Rod Woodsons could have been at safety, but some of the Chucky Woods could have been at safety too. So they'd probably back.
Chucky Wood, 3-time first-team All-Pro, 9-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, so Rod would win that battle.
He would.
As that. In my head, Darrell Green was incredible.
That didn't even get
but
a
I
vote.
don't see him on here at all, and maybe that was the longevity of it all.
Revis in his prime might be the other guy. It might be Dion and Revis in his prime.
Yeah.
Revis is a 4-time first team.
Yep, 4-time for him. And what did you say Woodson was?
6.
I can look up and see which ones were where. Rod Woodson. And then I think the safety one's really tough. I know who the 2 safeties would be. So first team, he has 1 at free safety as a member of the Raiders. The first team, all the others were, so he has 5 at corner with the Steelers. He was first team All-Pro 5 out of 6 years as a cornerback.
Sheesh.
That's
okay.
pretty good.
So that's probably it then. It's probably him and Dion are the starting corners. Ronnie Lott's the strong, and I would just put Ed Reed as the free, and I'm done.
Done. Fiend. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, that's the way that I do that. I don't think there's any reason to go beyond that. I don't know if there's anybody I'm missing at safety.
No,
that's out there.
I mean, Palomalu was great, but Ronnie Lott could cover like a corner because he also played some corner.
Mm-hmm. Those seem like the 2 guys to me.
Yeah.
Vinatieri is kicker.
Boy,
old boy in Baltimore would be tough to beat.
He beat him by 1 vote. I think. I
mean, Vinatieri's got the clutch postseason stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, just in terms of just watching them kick.
5-time All-Pro for Tucker.
Yep.
91.1% of his field goals, best in NFL history. He's made 58 straight field goals in the fourth quarter and overtime, including that 66-yarder last year in Detroit. I mean, he's the best. If you said my life was on the line and I needed one person on this planet to make a field goal to save me in their prime, absolute peak of their powers, I'm taking, without question, Justin Tucker.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem.
Like, without question.
Yeah, I'd probably go the same way. They have Devin Hester as the kick returner. Yep, no problem with that either.
None.
He should have been a first ballot.
He's not in yet. Where was he on that list?
He didn't.
He should be in.
He was nowhere. How's he not a first ballot? He's the best returner ever.
Insane.
Yeah. Silly. Very, very silly. All right, so much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Plethora.
Training camp is underway. The Cleveland Browns 50-50 raffle is now open. Go to the Browns mobile app or browns5050.com to purchase your tickets. The raffle ends on Sunday, August 21st. Don't miss your chance to win big while supporting the Stay in the Game network and shoes and clothes for kids. So we'll be back out there tomorrow. Coach Stefanski around 1:30.
Yeah, which will be the last time he speaks before Jacksonville. So you wonder if he'll give any insight into his plans for that particular contest, or he'll keep it close to the vest. And
can I give you what I think?
Sure.
Option B.
Yeah, I think that's more likely.
I'm guessing it's going to be option B.
Knowing him
KS,
as we know. Yeah.
As we know him, that there's not going to be a lot. I think the people will try. You'll try to get to the bottom of things, but from his perspective, there's no gain in it. So
I guarantee he will say
1 minute.
We haven't even. We're just trying to have a great practice today. We haven't gotten to the. We'll get to the game tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry that we won't be speaking at that point.
Even though 100%.
Yes, this has been. I bet this has been laid out.
Contingency upon contingency
for
upon contingency for.
It's one of the 3 P's. You can't fool us. We know what the P's are.
No, of course. We've done the work on the P's.
You're prepared. Knows. You've got a plan and a process to implement the plan. Plan shows up in 2 of the 3 P's.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the way that it works. It's pretty straightforward.
That's right.
All right, we are back tomorrow. The next level is coming up next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.